Okay, we're supposed to be on air.
Okay, I have the stream up. The restream. So do you want us to just start talking now?
I guess that we should start talking about Touhou. Because the run started a little bit earlier. So few things about Touhou Nights. It's a Metroidvania. It's a fun game. Um, and we're using Sakuya. I think that she was used in the previous run of Touhou Perfect Cherry Blossom. And she can stop time and use a power called Snail that instead of stopping the time, it only makes it slower. Uh, and in the Touhou world, we're supposed to have like an unlimited sort of stopping time, but in this world, it's pretty similar to Hensokyo. That or let's say because Sequoia is actually the maid of Remilia. So Remilia, when they was born, and she said to Patchouli that she wanted to send us to a similar world of Hensokyo and actually limit our powers. And we weren't supposed to be able to stop time, but Nitori come to this world and say, you know what, take this stopwatch and you can actually stop time now. So yeah, we can do it.
And she's like, it's okay, you can do what you want.
Yeah. So the first thing that I want to say is that YKN grabbed something called the slide because we can't actually slide. We need to grab the power up to do it. And
Yeah.
now Sapi is going to grab something called the red key. We are not going to see. We are not going to use that like now, but pretty late. So we don't need to talk about that now. Don't worry.
The slide is one of the abilities that you can collect. This is needed to progress through the game, basically.
Mhm. So we're going quickly to the first boss that it's mailing. And the first thing that we need to say is that usually when you do this fight on casual playthrough, is that she likes to actually stop your attacks. So in the speedrun, we time our attacks, and she actually doesn't stop anything.
Yeah, for some reason you can stun lock her.
Mhm.
Because normally like she'll bring up a shield if you spam attacks at her. But if you like getting a certain rhythm in a correct like spot, you can just stun lock her. So we should
That's
talk about
why. Yeah,
we should talk
sorry.
about the category. Because stage 1 went as normal, like it always would. But
Mhm.
the route is going to become like very, very unique. Like there's going to be a lot of skips and unintended stuff. Hey, you'll see.
Yeah, so one thing that you will see like from here and on the entire run is that we're going to slide a lot because sliding is actually faster than walking. So um,
Yeah, so you just like
we,
slide a lot in a rhythm.
mhm. We're going to see we can slide a lot now because all the enemies actually give us grace, and grace is actually a mechanic of the game that we didn't explain. Uh,
Yeah.
so when you go like really close to an enemy, it's actually something from the original games. You go pretty close and you gain like a little amount of HP, MP. That MP is like the mana, and that's what we use to attack and to use skills or abilities. Will say that we don't have right now, but we will see later. The only one that we use on the speedruns. Hi, Sindels. The three of us
Hi.
are here. So, and also we win some time, and when the timing stopped, we can graze from further. We'll say we need to be very close, and we don't have HP with that grace. That it's like purple, and we only have time and MP.
So here's
So
the first
yeah.
skip.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
go into like change up the route completely, basically.
Mm.
This is a very annoying skip
Mm.
that everyone hates.
Mm.
But this looks good actually.
Okay, not first try, but
Okay, moving on. So you have to
so
like line up the ferries and have them pretty close to each other, like at a certain point. And then by like clipping with a slide, you can go through the wall.
mhm,
As long as they're like in the correct spot and there's a bunch of bubbles in front.
mhm. So yeah, because when you slide, you have like a little knockback. So if we
Yeah.
have that knockback like a lot of times, we just go through walls. That's the best part.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
this like
it's yeah.
this skip you
Sorry.
can get first try, or it can take like 10
Like,
tries. Like
yeah.
it's a tough one.
So because oh
Okay.
okay,
There we go.
it was pretty quick. So yeah, because this game it has a lot of things because maybe the fairies are not good with you. They just take a lot of time to be in the right place. They don't shoot a lot of bubbles, so it's like complicated.
Yeah,
uh,
just doing damage boost to get down
mhm,
quicker.
yeah, because when we do that damage boost, we actually go through anything except walls. That was something
Nice.
called elevator skip. We actually do this thing called the hover nights. I think it was hover nights or the knife hover. It was kind. It was knife hover. So when we attack with the knives and we actually hold jump and down, and we move to one of the two sides, we gain like an extra height. I would say it's a tiny, but we can use that on the run.
Yeah, so that specific jump is like very precise. Like it's definitely harder than it looks.
Mhm.
Also, you're muted by the way, Swindles. Just in case you didn't know.
Mm. So
Okay,
more
so
stuff.
this is like the first
Yeah.
out of balance section that you'll see.
Mhm.
Um, so he got out of balance by doing a grip clip, which uses the grip knife ability that we just got. So by stopping time in a corner and throwing a knife up and like moving left and then moving back right, you can like clip through a lot of places like that.
Mhm. Because like
This is
the
a lot
grip
in the first
knife.
few.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So
we need to
I
use it
want to.
again.
Yeah. I want to say that like a grip knife is like okay, you can have this power. It gives a hitbox to the knife, so you can stop time and actually use them.
Yeah,
But
like that.
here on speedrun, was just like, oh, it has hitbox. Okay, let me get out of the of the bounds and travel of the game out of bounds. So
Also, the reason he
yeah,
jumped to the top of the screen is to get the stage 4 warp room
mhm.
from out of bounds, so he can travel to that later on.
And this item is the chainsaw. This is like the skill that I said before that it takes mana. Um, and that's something called tier skip. We can use the grip knife, this power that it gives hitbox to the knives, or we can just use a snail and use the cannonballs to get past that. But that's only used on 90%.
I guess they're good
Uh,
into stage 5, and that's how he got into stage 5.
Yep. Like we're on stage 2, now we're on stage 5. This cutscene that we are going to see from the other side, actually, it gives us the shop ticket, a ticket that we're going to use on the sixth stage or the extra stage. Um, so because the extra stage is like so apart from the game that to go back, we actually use a shop ticket. We go to the boss rush, and yeah, we will see that later. Don't worry. So the first thing about stage 5 is that we have a lot of tough enemies. We are only level 5, so it's like we need to be very careful.
Yeah, these enemies are
Uh,
like tanky. You just like don't really kill them.
mhm.
You just get past them.
And now we're going to grab the actually first upgrade of the game. That is the knives, because we actually when we stop time we have like 18 knives, and now we have 21, um, and that's why that's because the chainsaw it takes 10 knives on time stop. So if we have 21, we can actually use two on time stop.
Yeah,
So
so it's really necessary for the boss strats where we use a lot of chainsaws.
You
because
might have noticed just a minute ago that he was able to go to this warp point right here, and that was from when he went out of bounds earlier. You could see that he activated the warp point on the map from out of bounds.
yep.
Hmm.
That's the one thing that Maurice explained, that he was out of bounds. That this is the
Yeah.
warp.
It's like a quick thing that you wouldn't really think of if you're just watching, but
Mhm.
like you have to do it for that reason.
So now we're on stage 4 because the first thing that we want to grab is this thing that is a screw knife. And the main feature of screw knife is actually breaking boxes, but we
There's
don't break
nothing
any
here
boxes on speedrun.
that you
The,
can send through there.
yeah. So the reason why we grab a screw knife is because it gives us plus 3 damage. So more damage on low level. It's pretty good.
It's to make the bosses much faster,
Mhm,
especially Raimi, which is going to come up. That'll be the next boss.
mhm. And the thing that YKN did after grabbing the screw knife was something called debris clip. That with the hitbox of the jellyfish and with the structure that is falling from above, we just go out of bounds and we go faster. Then on stage 5, we did something called the purple skip with this the grip clip. No, it's not a grip clip. It's like
Yeah,
you just with
goal
the
clip is
grip.
kind of
Yeah.
precise.
And now we actually did a grip clip. So we go above the stage 5, but not too much, because if you go too much, the game will actually crash, and we don't
Yeah,
want the
so
game to crash.
there's no rooms like above that point, so if you try
Yeah.
to go too high, then the game just crashes.
Mhm.
So
Like
basically
you can,
here there's
sorry,
a trigger above the boss room that sends you basically to the credits of after the extra stage of the game. And this will send you right before the extra stage's boss, as if you never fought it before, which we actually haven't. So this will allow us to fight it basically in reverse order.
Yeah.
yeah. So we
So,
had to do mailing first, obviously, because
mhm.
like you can't skip stage 1 on mailing. But
so
after that point, all the bosses are actually in reverse order, which is the point of the category.
so a long time ago, when the game it was released, instead of the extra stage, because it wasn't released, we had the stage 5 credits that it was used for RBO and 100%, I think. But now, when the extra stage released, we have these credits, and when we go to these credits, we like Swindle said, we go to the extra stage, and that is pretty good to RBO. So things that we kind want to say, because these long credits, it's like 3 minutes. And fun fact, you can actually use the Nitori machine here to shut the credits.
Yeah, you can. So I don't think he wants to.
So you saw that there was something that had like a yellow aura. That's because it actually goes backwards when the time is stopped. For example, if it's let's say a saw that is going from left to right. If we time stop, it goes from right to left. If it has a green one, if it only moves when the time is stopped, and when it has a purple one, I think that was the last one. It always moves, and it doesn't matter if the time is stopped. And this can happen with enemies and with anything on the map, basically.
Yeah, so there's like a lot of things, like platforms and enemies, that like revolve around the time mechanic. So the ways you use time stop often depend on those enemies and platforms. Sure. Okay,
So,
so
and
here's
this is
Reimu,
Remo. Yep.
which would be the final boss normally, like the hardest and longest boss.
Mhm.
So it's the second boss we're doing in this category.
As you can probably tell at this point, the chainsaws are actually extremely useful in this run, as they allow us to deal tons of damage in a small amount of time, which is great.
But this attack, you can just stand point blank and graze all the fireballs that she shoots at you, which allows you to get a ton of damage. So the ground phase is mostly like making sure you can spawn chainsaws like when she's on the ground and not like doing attacks elsewhere.
So there are two things that we can talk about Rainbow right now. Is the first one is that she has an attack that is going to do like right now. If okay, that now that it's like let's say an insta kill because we have like very low level at this point. So if for some reason that wave grabs us, it will actually kills us in only like I think it's like an animation of 6 seconds. I think 5 seconds. And the second thing that is actually from Sakya, let's say, it's all the chainsaws that because we grab the grip and we say that it gives the nice hitbox. It also gives all the things that we're throwing hitbox. So that's why it's actually pretty dangerous to use a lot on time stop. Um,
Yeah, you really have to like space out your chainsaws, like use a certain amounts, like not spam too many in the same place, in too quick over time. And you have to like manage your resources as well. Like you have to manage your time and MP based on the chainsaw strats that you do.
It also might not apply in this category that much, but if you throw too many chainsaws during time stop, the game will actually start lagging.
sometimes. Oh yeah, and we can also talk about those things that Raymond just used. If you touch any of those ones, you can actually, I mean, they freeze you in place. But there is a little fun fact that if you stop the time and you have like 1 or 2 frames to actually stop time, and you can move with that on you. Um,
Mm.
Okay, and this is like the second phase of Raimu. It just pops a lot of balls. That sounds like a little bad, but it's on screen. So this attack like gives us a lot of grace that we're going to use to actually throw a lot of chainsaws. And here it repeats all the attacks.
Yeah, so yeah, FA is mostly like grazing offer attacks as much as possible. Because thankfully you can graze a lot offer attacks. But she does a lot of damage with like offer attacks. So like if you're not careful it's quite easy to die. But YKN made it through and killed her.
And we can talk about another fun fact is that actually clean Rainbow here is also the time for X percent, like the extra stage percent, we'd say. That is for clean Rainbow. So if you actually do RBO, you can stop time here also and have your time for the X percent category.
Yeah. So this would be like a very end of the game normally. Which is why the credits are gonna come up, but we can just skip them this time. Thankfully.
We skip the credits and we go back now because we have first is the hall of the pain because you have a lot of dragons, a lot of enemies on the air, and it's pretty tight where you have to go. And we'll go on this room right here on the right. That is like a secret room. And this one
Just
we're going
by
to do
clicking
a
through.
water skip. Oh yeah, if you want to say it, Marisa, don't worry, I'll let you.
Yeah, so by scaling and jumping to slow down the water, you can basically get Sakia like in a spot where she just clips through the water into like inside the wall. as she's frozen. And he got it second try, which is
Yep.
very solid. We also just did a thing where he time stopped entering that room, so the fire bars weren't active, and then jumped up and got the dash spike. So now
I
he has
will,
the dash ability, which you just saw, which lets you just dash much quicker.
and now we have like the Sirno fight, the ice fairy. I would say that it is like the most tricky boss because it actually has like a very little hitbox from compared to all the other bosses, and it moves a lot. So we need to you need to be very careful when you throw all the chainsaws here.
Yeah, so everything he's doing is like to get Chino in certain spots, so that he can get damage at certain times when she's not flying around.
And with that attack, you can do the same with Rainbow. You can be like very close where she is, and you can actually graze those attacks while you throw more chainsaws. And
So
also
he's
with
going
this
to
one, she throws a lot of icicle from the top. And now we're going to use the shop ticket that we grab on stage 5. And YKN sold all the shields that he had to buy another shop ticket that we're going to use on stage 5, luckily.
Mhm.
And as we kill Sirno, we don't have to watch all the cutscene. We can just use the boss rush that we actually unlock that by watching the extra stage credits. So we go back to stage 1, we go to the warp, and we go back to stage 5 again. So we go out actually defeat like the supposed last boss.
Yeah, so after Rainbow, like the entire run is going back through the game and beating the other bosses in reverse order. But yeah, like we go back and forth through like a lot of stages. With lots of like skips and like weird stuff. Like Arouse is very it's the most unique rousing like any category by far, I'd say.
So first, okay, I thought that the game was going to the typical strat that we use on speedruns, maybe because this is safer.
Yeah, maybe just play
So
it safe.
yeah, we actually do like 3 slides, and on the last one we go a bit to the left, and then we go back to the front, because we can manipulate Nitori's movement. That there is this boss. And we can make her to shoot all the bullets to the right to the wall while she goes to the right, and so we have like a free grace to through all the chainsaws that we want.
Yeah, so we end up just like grazing her stack anyway and doing constant time stop chainsaws over and over. So yeah, still gets like a pretty kill before her second phase can happen.
Okay, Nitori is actually not Nitori, it's Flan, Remelia's sister.
Yep.
And now this is like the second phase of the fight.
So Fang is like normally the final boss of the main game, not counting the extra stage. And the entire like the biggest thing of fight is like when you move around, Fran will follow you exactly where you move. So you have to like really make sure you throw chainsaws in the right spots and like move in the right spots after throwing chainsaws.
Fortunately, the fireballs that spawn on the screen, they're pretty easy to graze and they give a lot of graze, so there is a little bit of room for error in this fight.
He's also got graze as much as possible during a grace attack as well. Using snail
Yeah.
times to slow down the graze and everything.
Mhm. Yeah, like the main thing that we want to do is like end this fight. When it's a speedrun, I think that's pretty obvious that we want to end the fight as soon as possible. uh, But the main thing is that we want to lower her HP like to really really low, but not too low because we want to like a little skip in the next few seconds.
Yeah, it's like one of the most recent additions to the run.
Mhm.
And YKN has a setup for it.
Okay, let's see. So what YKN is doing is stopping time a lot because we can actually use a grip clip here if we are careful. Huh? Oh, okay. I think that's not going to work. Oh, okay.
He didn't quite get it. So I was
So
surprised because he has a setup where if you wait for her attack with like all the colored lasers, if you stand in a corner and like get knocked back by that, and then do one slide to the right, it puts you in the right spot basically. So I assumed he would go for that because it's like safe. But he went for the faster setup, where you have to like kind of look where you are based on like the texture on the floor. So yeah, ideally you clip through and you can use the shop ticket to go to boss rush again. But unfortunately he didn't manage to get a clip, so we have to watch the credits again.
yeah, because the stage 5 grades and the extra stage are different ones when we are going to watch both. um, and one thing is that so the credit skip is we actually do that because we can use the shop ticket on both Nitori and Flan's boss fight and Ramos one. So that's why we need to go out of the bathroom. Okay, so we have like the 1.5 extra minutes to to watch the credits right now. And I don't know what we could explain right now. Well, we're going to watch a lot of fun things on the stage 4 after defeating the fourth boss, that's Remedia.
Yeah,
Because
there's some interesting ass bars movement that requires like dashing in midair
mhm.
and knife hovering for a while.
So if we don't count the reverse boss order and we do the normal playthrough, the third boss is Patchouli, the one that Remilia said that she wanted to do this war pretty similar to Sensoge. Um, and when we tell her about, I think that it was about Nitori, she was like, I didn't buy Nitori here. I don't know what you are talking about. And then when we go to Remilia, we said some stuff that she was like, huh, I don't remember that. And when she actually snaps, like Thanos, eh, to go back to the world, let's say, that how she did before the credits of the stage 5. Um, she thought that everything was going to be uh, like usual, they will stop being on this world, but they actually keep being here because as we saw, the final boss was Flan because she was mad that Remilia used her shields, but it actually was a word um, not designed to Sakuya but to Flan. um, but yeah, that's why we're going to defeat now Remilia.
So
That's
something to
actually
get is
pretty close. Oh, I'm sorry.
sorry, so like by this point we are like over leveled compared to fighting these bosses in a normal order or normal route. But all of these bosses will go like very quickly because of how leveled up we are now. Especially the last two.
And a fun fact is that there is a clock behind Remilia. Well, not now, but it was. But it's on the middle of the screen. That clock actually has your time of your computer. So if you play the game and you see that clock, you notice that the game is the one from your PC.
Yeah.
Uh, Okay. The fight ended quickly, luckily.
Basically, just guessing grays
Mhm.
and spelling swords because of it.
So yeah,
This
like
is where the
the
game was supposed to actually end, except that's when they figured out that the game was not exactly ending and that there was somebody else behind it.
Yeah, it's just weird talking about like where the game ends or is supposed to end when we're just doing everything in like a weird order. But yeah, this is gonna be Smile's movement. I guess he's fairly tricky.
okay.
So he's going to clip out of bounds here and then
And
dash
now,
a few
yeah.
rooms to the right. And his goal is to get into the loading zone at the start of stage 4,
Mhm.
which is up here, just above this.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's very
First try.
fast.
Nice. So yeah, we go through all the stage 4 out of bounds, and we just hit the trigger from the stage 5.
What is he doing?
I don't know.
Wait, I've never seen that much time. Oh my god.
Is he going to actually defeat her out of bounds?
Okay, I have never seen this. I think he's just
First
doing this for
time,
fun.
maybe. Oh, okay. Okay. This is the first time I see this.
Wait, I have never seen this.
I didn't even know this was a strategy anybody used.
Wait, I guess this is a strat. I've never seen it. Oh my god. Okay, this is definitely slower, but it's very funny. So he kills Patchy from out of bounds. I have never seen that.
That's
Well,
pretty
we'll
good.
have to continue watching because it might bring a little bit of an optimization when you try and get back to the stage 2 boss.
Maybe. Yeah, because you're actually out of bounds, so maybe. But I'm not sure. So yeah, because as we did on stage 4 to go to stage 3, we actually do the same to go to stage 2 and go and defeat Marisa. Not Marisa from here on the voice chat, but actually the boss.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, she is the final boss of this category.
Yep.
But you kill her in about 10 seconds because of how overleveled you are.
Yeah. So we usually defeat Marisa without a screw knife, the +3 damage, and without level 16. We are like level 6 on any percent damage skip. So yeah, she's going to uh, be there like really quick.
Yeah, so just had some outbounds. He's above the Mercer Room right now.
And a little fun fact is that we actually need to start the fight from the left part, like from this part of the screen, because if we do it from the right, we actually soft lock the game. And it only happens with Marisa, I think. It doesn't happen with bosses like Patchouli or Amelia.
Well, it can happen with some cutscenes too. Earlier, there's an Itori cutscene, and basically what the game is doing is it's checking your X coordinate and seeing basically, hey, are you at this X coordinate? Then we'll trigger the dialogue. And if you're not there, then it won't ever trigger. And if you're stuck inside a wall, obviously you'll never be able to trigger the dialogue, causing the game to just lock.
So that was time,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yep.
After Game Race the kill. Because we're beating every boss now. So yeah. That is RBO.
That was a GG.
GG.
It's a very good run.
It definitely showed us all of the skips and outbound strats. And we also got to see a strat that none of us have ever seen before, so that's fun.
Yes, it's a nice category to run if you like to fight the bosses, obviously.
Yeah, it's the most unique category in terms of doing unintended movement, outbound stuff. The point of the category is to beat the game in the most unintended way possible.
So,
So,
and if
yeah.
you don't like to do the boss fight, you can run tank percent because
Yeah,
you only
that's the thing.
fight Mei Ling, the first boss. because there is no way to skip the boss at this moment. And if we do one day, it will be pretty magic.
Yeah, I feel like if it was a thing, it would have been discovered by now, for sure. But I just don't see it being possible.
Well, grip clip didn't seem like a thing we could do for a while, but we figured that out.
It's just like you have like almost no abilities in stage 1, so there's so much you can do. But yeah, I don't think there's much else to say. So yeah, thanks for having us.
So if you, for some reason, want to run this game, I say that it's pretty fun. Touhou nice to learn. And you can join the Discord if you go to speedrun.com/tln. There is the Discord icon, so you can join there. And we have some channels out. The starter information if you want to know about some tricks and the stuff. And you also have a learning channel if you have any question about the game, about certain boss, how to defeat Patchouli pretty quickly, stuff like that. You can go and ask there. I'm pretty sure that some of us will answer you. So yeah, and thank you for all the people that was watching this run. And also to Marisa and Sunil for being here.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
fun.